All right, welcome to your core conditioning, but today I threw in some glutes just for fun. So it's gonna be core and glutes. We start with glutes, we finish with core. It's a one and done type of a circuit. 40 seconds on, 10 seconds off. We're gonna do a really quick warm up before we get into the workout. So we're gonna start with 10 jumping jacks, whether you wanna do 10 high or 10 low jumping jacks, totally up to you. And then once you have done 10 jumping jacks, we're going to do 5 plank walkouts. So get your feet a little bit wider if you tend to be tighter through the hamstrings and the calves, or you're just a little stiff this morning. Hands come down, we're gonna walk out into our plank position. We're gonna come back, just touch the toes for me, and then walk right back out into that plank position. We're gonna do 5 total. Keeping that belly button pulled up into the spine, eyes are on the floor, making sure that we don't leave our hips up in the air and we don't let them drop down towards the floor when we come out into that nice plank position. Once you have done 5 of these, we're gonna stand up. We're gonna finish off with 10 total body extensions, which is basically a squat jump without the jump. So we're gonna bring our hands behind us, and we're gonna explode up onto the toes, reaching for the ceiling. So we're at 10 here. So sit those hips back, keep your eyes up straight ahead, reaching those hands to the ceiling, getting those biceps to the ears, still keeping those abs nice and tight. And once you have done 10, we're gonna come down onto the floor, onto your back, and we start with glutes. So we're gonna do 40 seconds of glute hip bridging. Now, if you want to add a weight to make these a little bit more of a challenge, you are more than welcome to do that, but you do not have to. I am going body weight today. So, number 1 is we're just going to come up into our glute hip bridge, tap it down, squeeze and lift again. That is it. And then we're going to pick a side, left or right, and we're going to go one-legged, go back to some two-legged work before finishing off with some. All right, here we go. So, tuck that belly button in, abs are nice and tight, push through the heels, getting up onto those shoulder blades. Good, and again, we're really focusing on squeezing the glutes as we lift those hips up and off the floor. Good. Again, it's like you're tucking that pelvis under. You're gonna push that belly button in. You're gonna feel your abs contract and your glutes. Nice work. So I need about 10 more seconds here. And then I need you to pick a side, left or right. And we're gonna stay on it for about four moves, and then we get to switch. All right, so bring one leg up into the air, and then I want you to come up onto the toe of the working leg. Get that in the right spot. So drop it down, come on up. So the pressure is on the ball of my foot, not on my heel. You may find that the movement becomes a lot smaller, and you're gonna find that it's gonna hit a little bit more into that hamstring as well as the glutes. Good. And then after we've done 40 seconds up on our toe, then we're gonna bring our feet down nice and flat and just do a regular one-legged glute hip bridge. All right, we got 5 more seconds. Ooh, this is not a big range. Perfect. All right, get the foot nice and flat. So now we're gonna push through that heel again, just like we normally do. So still keep that non-working leg up towards the ceiling, tuck that pelvis in, push through the heel. You got it. And it's like you want this heel of the non-working leg, you wanna try and punch it through your ceiling. Good. Ooh. Nelly. Take little breaks if you need to, just don't quit. If you need to take a pause at the bottom and then do another rep, take another pause, you can do that. Maybe you need to actually shake out the leg like I do. Good, so I need about 10 more seconds. We're simply gonna come up into the hip bridge and hold for the whole 40 seconds. Wow. Good. All right, quick little shake out. We're gonna come back up into that glute hip bridge, but we're gonna hold it. Oh, shake, shake, shake. All right, push it up. Now, if you find keeping this leg up into the air just too much of a challenge, another option is to simply cross the leg over. This is what I'm gonna do. My legs are actually sore from yesterday. So I'm gonna cross my leg over, take some of the tension off, still allowing me to keep my hips up and off the floor and my weight through the heel of the foot. Good. We got one more one-sided hip bridge move to do before we get to switch legs. I need about 10 more seconds. We get to finish off with little pulses. So we're gonna pulse in this top range of the hip bridge. Perfect. Good. All right, little shake out. We've only got 10 seconds. I'm gonna keep my legs crossed. You can keep your leg up towards the ceiling if you like. Come on up, and just little pulses. You got it. Weight is still through the heel of that working leg. Good, still keeping those abs tucked in, you got it. And it's not a very big movement, just little pulses up and down. And then when the timer goes, we've got 10 seconds, we're gonna switch legs. We're gonna come up onto the ball of the foot of the other side, and we're gonna do a toe, one-legged hip bridge. All right, we got less than 10, keep going. In 4, 3, 2, and relax, good. Whoo, man, oh man. All right, I'm gonna start with the leg up in the air. So again, come up onto the toe of that working leg, reach it, tap it down, and reach. Good. So you're gonna feel this a little bit differently. You're gonna feel it a little bit more into the hamstring as well as the glutes. Pushing off through the toe or through the balls of the feet. Good, you got it. Once we have done 40 seconds of this version, we're gonna get our foot nice and flat on the floor, and we're gonna push through the heel for round 2. Good, I need 10 more seconds. You got it, you got it. Woo. Shake out those legs. So again, legs straight up, or if you need to, cross the leg over the knee. All right, push through the heel, getting up onto the shoulder blades. Again, we're tucking that pelvis under. You're gonna feel your abs tighten up as well as the glutes. And think of pushing your heel through the ceiling if you've got that leg nice and straight. Wow. Shake it out if you need to. Take an extra pause at the bottom. We're creating a lot of time under tension on the one side. Woo. 10 more seconds, and then we go into the glute hip bridge hold. So we're gonna just keep those hips up and off the floor for the whole 40 seconds. Ah, shake. I'm gonna cross my leg over. Again, feel free, keep that leg up towards the ceiling. Totally up to you. Let's push through the heel. Get up onto those shoulder blades again, tucking that pelvis under, squeezing those glutes, feeling those abs tighten up, and just hold and hang out and go to your happy place. We're here for a whole 40 seconds before we get that 10-second break. And then our last round on the one leg are those little pulses. Good. Almost there, my friends. I need 15 more seconds. We'll take that 10-second break and we'll get set up to do our pulses for the last 40 seconds, and then we get to move on. There it is. Whew, shake. Shake, shake, shake. So again, you can cross the leg over. You can keep your non-working leg up towards the ceiling. We're gonna do little pulses, push through the heel, come on up, little pulses up and down, you got it. Good, again, tucking that pelvis under, feeling those abs tighten up just as much as those glutes. If you need to take a little break, take it. Come on down, take a pause, and then get right back to it. Just don't quit. Now, when these 40 seconds are done, we're gonna get both feet nice and flat on the floor. We got 2 more hip bridge moves left before we switch onto the core. We're gonna do a 1.5 rep. So we're gonna come up, do a little pulse at the top before bringing those hips right back down to the floor. 2 seconds. Oh. All right, shake it out. Back to a regular hip bridge position. We're gonna come up, do a little pulse at the top, and then drop down to the floor. Here we go. Up, pulse, and release. Good. Again, tucking that pelvis under. Pushing the floor away with those heels Getting up onto the shoulder blades. Now you may find you're not getting up very high anymore. These glutes have had a lot of work done already. So just take your time, there's no rush. If you need to take an extra pause at the bottom, do it, and then go right into that next rep. I need 10 more seconds. And then I want you to go back to that very first working leg that you did. So that leg is gonna stay down on the floor. We're gonna come up into a glute hip bridge and we're going to extend the other leg. From here, we're gonna go into some leg raises. So we're gonna bring it up and back down. So keeping the hips off the floor, keeping those abs nice and tight, keeping this leg as straight as you can. Now if you find keeping the leg straight just too much of a challenge, then bend the knee in, straighten it out. Bend it in, straighten it out, you got it. So obviously we gotta do each leg one more, like once, and then we get to move on, I promise. We got some awesome plank work coming up. 10 more seconds, and then we get to switch legs. Perfect, almost there in 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax, good. Whew. Shake it out. We gotta do that other side. All right, so straighten out the other leg. Get ready to come into that glute hip bridge. Come up, tap it down, good. So remember, leg can be straight, leg can be bent. Make it work for you. Either way, hips are up and off the floor, abs are tight, we're squeezing our butt. And when we are done our 40 seconds here, we're gonna start our ab track with a reverse crunch. So we're gonna stay down on our back, we're gonna tuck our hands under the hips, we're gonna bring our feet off the floor, keeping our knees at about 90 degrees as we roll the knees into the chest by tucking our pelvis under. All right, there it is. Whew, all right, hands under. Knees are gonna come up. We're gonna tuck that pelvis under. We're gonna use those nice deep lower abdominals. Pull the knees in, come on back out, good. Now you can make this move as big or as small as you need to. You may not get your knees right into the chest, and that's okay. I want you to focus on tucking that pelvis under, feeling those abdominals contract, using that contraction to pull the knees into the chest. You got it. I need about 10 more seconds. We're gonna stay on our back. We're gonna bring both legs straight up towards the ceiling, and we're gonna alternate abdominal leg raises. Good. So straighten out those legs for me. If having straight legs is too much, you can do the exact same thing from a bent knee position. So legs are straight. You're gonna lower one leg down. We're gonna use those abs to pull the leg back up. You got it. Hands can stay under the hips. Hands can come out to the side. Hands can stay on the waist. You can feel what those abdominals are doing. Take your time. You got it. Same thing. If you find straight legs are too much, go out from a bent knee. Just shorten up your lever here a little bit. And I need about 10 more seconds. We got bicycles coming up next. So we're gonna get our arms behind the head. We're gonna get the shoulder up and off the floor with our knees bent to about 90 degrees. So bend the knees, hands behind the head, lift those shoulders so we're already contracting through those abs. And we're gonna bring elbow to opposite knee. Switch, switch. Nice, slow and controlled. Now, the smaller you keep the legs, the easier it's gonna be. The more you extend those legs down and out towards the floor, more of a challenge. So make it challenge you, but still doable to get through the whole 40 seconds. Good. So I need 15 more seconds. We're gonna keep our feet up off the floor. We're gonna keep our hands behind the head, and we're gonna do just a nice, simple crunch. So all we're doing is lifting the shoulders up and off the floor. Good. Whew. All right. So keeping our feet up, knees at about 90 degrees, keeping your back pushed down into the floor and hands behind the head. We're gonna sit it up and lower back down. Driving that back down into the mat. Perfect. Keeping our eyes up towards the ceiling. Elbows are out to the side. Make sure your elbows are not in front and you're not pulling on your head. I want your abdominals doing all the work. So take your time, there's no rush. Really think, really picture in your head, your belly button going down, touching your spine. Seeing those abdominal muscles contract and lifting the shoulders up and off your floor. Good, I need like 2 more seconds. We're gonna go right into a double crunch. So now we're gonna bring knees and elbows together, and then we're gonna release out to that starting point. All right, here we go. Pull it in and release. Pull it in. You got it. It's not a big movement. We're gonna tuck that pelvis under, pulling the knees into the chest. We're gonna drive that belly button down into the floor, lifting the shoulders, bringing the elbows in to meet those knees. Good. You got it. I need about 15 more seconds, and then we get to move on. We're gonna go back to the bicycle, but rather than keeping our knees bent, we're gonna straighten the legs out. Good. So, one leg up, one leg out. We're gonna bring elbow to knee, and then we're gonna switch with the straight leg. Now, if straight legs do not work for you, just go back to a regular bent leg bicycle. It's all good. My legs are not perfectly straight either. My hamstrings are definitely a little on the tighter side, but take your time, and the smaller you keep the legs, the easier. The bigger you make those legs, the more of a challenge. Good. You got it, you got it. And once we are done these straight leg bicycles, we're gonna do some side plank work. So I'm gonna need you to pick a side, left or right, in about 10 seconds. And we're just simply gonna hold the side plank to get us started. There it is. All right. Come on up for me. Pick a side, left or right. And we're just gonna hold the side plank either from a modified or a full side plank position. So a full side plank, both legs are nice and straight. Modified, we're gonna keep the bottom leg bent and the top leg straight. You got it. So eyes are straight ahead for me. Make sure you got that hip up nice. You can feel that whole underside, hip and obliques tighten up, and keep your non-working hand on the hip up towards the ceiling. Just try not to have it down on the floor. We wanna keep that chest nice and open. So I need about 10 more seconds here. We're gonna stay on this side. Do not drop and roll for me. From here, we're gonna add a hip dip in 4, 3, 2, and relax. Good. So staying on this side, we're just gonna move the hips up and down towards the floor. All right, in 3, 2, let's pop it up. Good, so drop the hip, push it back up. Good, and you can drive that hip up higher than parallel. You don't have to stop parallel with the floor. The bigger you can make this motion, the more you're gonna feel those obliques, your hips, that underside glute work. And you can always start in a full side plank, drop down to a modified if you need to. You got it. My feet are sliding. I need about 10 more seconds. We got one more move on this side before we get to drop and roll. And we're gonna do some side plank hugs or crunches in 3, 2, and relax. Good. So we're gonna take your top hand, we're gonna bring it up by the ear, and we're gonna drive it down towards the floor. I'm gonna show you another option as well. So come on up. So option 1, keep the hand here. Bring that elbow down, come on up. The other option is to straighten the arm up and give yourself a nice big hug. Now you may find with the straight arm, you can go into a deeper rotation, which is only gonna work those obliques more. So you've got 2 choices. I'm gonna go with the straight arm. Good, I need 15 more seconds. We get to drop and roll. And we're gonna do everything on the other side, starting with that side plank hold. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. All right. So again, either a modified or a full side plank, you choose, or do a bit of both. We're gonna pop it up. We're simply just gonna hold. Hand either on the hip, hand up towards the ceiling, Start with a full side plank, drop down to a modified. We're just gonna hang out, breathe through it. And then when the timer goes, we'll move into our plank hip dips for round number 2. Good. Keeping those eyes straight ahead. I need about 15 more seconds. Feel free to grab water as well whenever you need it. 10 more seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Good. So again, keeping with either a modified or a full side plank, we're gonna add a hip dip. So we're gonna drop the hip to the floor and we're gonna push that hip right back up towards the ceiling. Come on up. So drop the hip. Come on up. Good. Hand can stay on the hip. Hand can come up towards the ceiling. Just try not to have it down onto the floor. I want you to keep that chest nice and open. So you may keep your side plank, hip dips, quite small. You may be able to get that hip up quite high. It does not matter. Just keep nice eyes. I want to say a tall posture, but we're not standing. But we want to keep a nice side plank position. Good. I need less than 10 seconds, or actually closer to 5, and then we're gonna go into those side plank hugs. Woo! Good. So remember, option 1, hand was at the ear, and we're bringing the elbow down to the mat and opening up. Option 2 is a straight arm. We're gonna give ourselves a bigger hug, allowing for a bigger rotation. So option 1 right here. So a bit of a smaller rotation. Option 2, straighten the arm out, give yourself that hug. We're still driving that hip up, allowing for the arm to come down towards the floor. You got it. And once we are done here, we're gonna come back onto our back, and we're gonna go back to some bicycles. Woo! Nelly. Holy smokes. 5 more seconds. In 4, 3, 2, oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna go back to bicycles. We're gonna go back to some scissors. I'm gonna change things just slightly. So knees are at 90, lift the shoulders. We're not gonna move the upper body. I want you to just do scissor legs. Just the scissor legs. Keeping those shoulders up off the floor as high as you can, which means I've got my back pushed down into the mat. I've got my pelvis tilted forward, keeping my back pushed down into the mat. Good. Hands are just supporting the neck. Make sure you're not pulling on it. Keep those elbows nice and wide. I need 10 more seconds. We're gonna do the same thing, but change up the legs. Rather than scissor legs, or sorry, bicycle legs, we're gonna do scissor legs. Woo. So we're gonna move our feet back and forth, not versus up and down. So the higher you keep your legs towards the ceiling, the easier. So we're gonna do little scissors. So higher legs, easier. Get your legs closer to the floor to make it harder. Good. You got it, you got it, you got it. And here's the beautiful part. We've only got 2 moves left. Good. Good. Oh, this is a challenge. Wow. I gotta take just a 1 second break here. I need 10 more seconds. We're gonna flip ourselves over. We're gonna hold the plank. Everybody is on their forearms, either from the knees or toes. In 3, 2, and relax. Wow. Flip. So everybody's on their forearms, knees or toes. Here we go, let's pop it up. Now, if you need to make this plank a little bit easier, you can find a staircase, a coffee table, a nice solid coffee table, a workout bench, and you can hold this plank position. Now, you might not be able to do it from the forearms, depending, but you may have to do it from the hands. But the higher you get your hands or your upper body off the floor, the easier holding the plank is going to become. But we're still gonna tuck that belly button in. You're gonna feel your abs and your glutes tighten up. And we got less than 10 seconds. We got 1 move left. We're gonna come back into this plank position, and we're gonna do hip dips left and right. Good. Woo. 10-second break. We're gonna pop right back up into that position, and we're gonna dip the hips left and right. So come on up. Dip the hips towards the floor and back down. Now, when you bring those hips back to the center. You're gonna use those obliques to make that happen. Still keeping your back nice and flat, nice and neutral, eyes are on the floor, and you can make this move as big or as small as you need to. Good. Your feet are gonna move around a little bit if you're doing this from the toes. This can be done from the knees as well. All right, less than 10 seconds, my friends, and then you are done. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Nice work. Take some time, grab some water, stay down on the floor, go right into that cobra stretch, child's pose stretch. And then because of all the glute work we did, flip yourself over onto your back. Make sure you do some figure 4 stretches and those T's. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next workout.